But to understand how my brother's wedding turned into the beginning of his business collapse, I need to take you back 5 years to the day he asked me for help, and I was stupid enough to give it. My brother Tyler Anderson has always been golden. 2 years older than me, captain of the football team, prom king, accepted to every college he applied to. He had that effortless charisma that made people want to be around him, want to help him, want to see him succeed. I'm Amber Anderson, and I've always been not golden. Quiet.
Bookish.
The sister who got straight A's but nobody noticed because Tyler got B's and everyone celebrated like he'd cured cancer. When Tyler graduated college with a business degree and announced he was starting a tech company, our parents threw him a launch party. 50 people. Catered food. Dad gave a speech about entrepreneurial vision and the Anderson legacy. When I graduated MIT with a degree in computer science and got recruited by a Silicon Valley firm, Mom's response was, "That's nice, dear. Can you help set up chairs for Tyler's launch party?" I helped set up chairs. Tyler's company was called Anderson Enterprises. He had a vision: create a platform connecting freelance consultants with businesses. A marketplace for expertise. It was a good idea. Lots of people had similar ideas. Most failed. Tyler was convinced he'd be different. He raised a small friends and family round $200,000. Our parents put in $50,000, their retirement savings. Uncle Jim put in $25,000. Various family friends contributed the rest. 6 months later, the money was gone. The platform barely worked. Tyler had spent $80,000 on a fancy office and $40,000 on a branding consultant. The family was worried. Dad was panicking about the retirement money. Tyler was charismatic, but losing confidence. That's when he called me. "Amber, I need your help." I was 23, working at my Silicon Valley job, making $140,000 a year. I'd been promoted twice in 18 months. I was building AI algorithms for ad targeting, and I was good at it. "What kind of help?" I asked. "Financial. The company needs another funding round. But investors want to see traction first. I need bridge funding to get us there. Just $100,000. 6 months. I'll pay you back with interest when we close our Series A." "Tyler, I don't have $100,000 just lying around." "Yes, you do. You're making bank at that tech job. You live in a tiny apartment and drive a used car. You've got to have savings." He was right. I had $240,000 in savings. I lived modally. I was saving for something.
A house someday.
Security. The future. I don't know. "Amber, please. You're my sister. This is my dream." Dad invested his retirement. I can't let him lose that money. I just need 6 months to get the platform working and close real funding. I thought about Dad's retirement savings. About Uncle Jim's $25,000. About Tyler's dreams crumbling. "Okay," I said. "But we do this properly. Legal documents. Promissory note. Interest. Terms." "Of course. Absolutely. Thank you, Amber. You're saving my life." I wired him $100,000 the next day. He never paid back a single dollar. But 6 months later, he called again. "Amber, we're so close. The Series A investors are interested, but they want to see more user growth. I need another $150,000 to fund a marketing campaign. Just 3 months. Then we close the Series A, and you get paid back everything plus 20%. I should have said no. I should have asked to see financials. I should have demanded repayment of the first loan. Instead, I said, "Send me the updated business plan." The plan looked okay. User numbers were growing slowly. The platform worked better. Tyler had hired a real CTO. It wasn't a disaster. I sent $150,000. 6 months after that. "Amber, I need $200,000 to hire salespeople. The enterprise clients are interested, but we need a sales team." Then, $300,000 to build out the mobile app. Investors say we need mobile. Then, $400,000 to expand to 3 new markets. We're finally hitting our stride. Over 3 years, I invested $1.2 million of my own money into Anderson Enterprises.
Why?
Because Tyler was my brother. Because our parents' retirement was at stake. Because every pitch included "we're so close and the next round is almost closed and you'll get everything back plus returns." But also because something else was happening. My career was exploding and I had money to spare. While I was funding Tyler's dream, my own career had become something extraordinary. The AI algorithms I'd built at the ad tech company got acquired by a major tech giant. My acquisition bonus, $800,000. I was 25 years old. The acquiring company hired me as a senior engineer. Salary, $280,000. Stock options that vested over 4 years. By 26, I was promoted to principal engineer. By 27, I was leading a team of 40 engineers building next-generation AI systems. My total compensation, $520,000 annually. My stock options were worth $3.2 million. I didn't tell my family. Why would I? Every conversation about my work was interrupted by Tyler's latest crisis or achievement. Every family dinner was Tyler's board meeting recap or fundraising update. When I mentioned my promotion to principal engineer, Mom said, "That's nice, honey. Tyler, tell everyone about the partnership with that Fortune 500 company." So I stopped mentioning my work. I showed up to family events in jeans and a sweater. I drove my used Honda. I lived in my modest apartment. And I quietly became wealthy while being invisible. The $1.2 million I'd given Tyler? It barely dented my net worth. I had $4.8 million in the bank by age 28. But then Tyler's company actually started working. Year 4 of Anderson Enterprises was different. Tyler finally hired competent people. The platform worked. They signed 3 major corporate clients. Revenue hit $2.3 million annually. Tyler called me, ecstatic. "Amber, we did it. We're closing our Series A. $8 million at a $25 million valuation. That's great, Tyler. And you're going to be made whole. All your loans, you're getting converted to equity. You'll own 18% of the company." I did the math. 18% of $25 million was $4.5 million on paper. My $1.2 million investment was now worth $4.5 million. But Amber, there's one thing. The investors want a clean cap table. They're asking all the old notes to convert to equity at a discount to the Series A price. You'd get preferred shares, just like them, but at the old valuation. You'd own 18%, but your cost basis would stay at $1.2 million. Tyler, I don't understand. It's good for you. You're getting a better deal than the new investors. You're getting preferred shares. I was an AI engineer, not a finance expert. It sounded reasonable. Tyler sent documents. I signed them. What I didn't understand then, I just converted $1.2 million in debt that Tyler owed me with interest into equity that could become worthless if the company failed. Tyler's debt to me vanished. I became an investor with all the risk, but the company was growing. The Series A closed. Tyler was on top of the world. That's when things got weird. 6 months after the Series A, Tyler called again. "Amber, we need bridge funding to the Series B. Just $500,000. The Series B is going to be huge, $20 million at a $100 million valuation. But we need to show continued growth. This $500,000 gets us there." "Tyler, I already have 18% equity. Why would I put in more money?" "To protect your investment. If you don't participate in this bridge round, you'll get diluted in the Series B. You need to put in your pro rata to maintain your ownership." Again, it sounded logical. I sent $500,000. 3 months later. "Amber, we need another $400,000. The Series B investors want to see specific metrics. This gets us there." Then, $600,000 for an acquisition that will accelerate growth. Then, $700,000 to expand internationally. Over 2 more years, I invested an additional $2.8 million. Total investment in Tyler's company, $4 million. My current equity stake after all the dilution from new rounds, 22%. Tyler's stake, 31%, He'd negotiated anti-dilution protection I didn't have. Our parents' stake, 0.8%. They'd been diluted to almost nothing. The company was now valued at $85 million on paper. My stake was worth $18.7 million on paper. But on paper is very different from in my bank account. Meanwhile, Tyler was living like a successful CEO. Nice car, expensive apartment, designer suits. He was featured in local business magazines, 30 under 30 lists, startup podcasts. At family dinners, he held court, told stories about board meetings and investor pitches and expansion plans. I sat quietly, eating my food, knowing I'd funded nearly every milestone he was celebrating. Nobody knew. Not even Tyler, really. I'd routed all my later investments through an LLC called Amber Holdings, so he just saw me as the investor rather than his sister bailing him out repeatedly. Then came the wedding announcement. Tyler was marrying Madison, a woman he'd met through business networking. She was beautiful, polished, worked in PR. Their engagement photos looked like a magazine spread. The wedding was scheduled for June at an exclusive vineyard in Napa. 200 guests. Weekend event. Rehearsal dinner, ceremony, reception, next day brunch. The save the dates said black tie optional. The gift registry was at stores I'd never heard of. Everything was expensive and elegant, and very Tyler. I RSVP'd yes alone. I was 29, single, focused on my career. Mom asked if I was bringing anyone, with that hopeful tone that meant, please prove you're not dying alone.
No, Mom.
Just me. That's fine, sweetie. I'm sure you'll meet someone eventually. You're just so focused on work. You should be more like Madison. She has a career and a relationship. I didn't mention that Madison's career was being a PR consultant whose biggest client was Tyler's company. Or that I was making $680,000 a year leading one of the most advanced AI teams in Silicon Valley. I just said, I'll try, Mom. The wedding weekend arrived. I drove up to Napa in my Honda, parked between a Tesla and a Mercedes. Checked into my room, put on my bridesmaid dress. Yes, Madison had asked me to be a bridesmaid because we're family now. The rehearsal dinner was elegant. Tyler gave a speech thanking everyone, especially the investors and believers who made Anderson Enterprises possible. He didn't mention me. Not once. The wedding itself was beautiful. Madison looked stunning. Tyler looked proud. They exchanged vows about partnership and building a future together. The reception was at the vineyard, under string lights, with a live band and catered food that probably cost $300 per person. I sat at table 7 with some of Tyler's college friends and their dates. They were nice enough. We made small talk about jobs and travel and the wedding. Then Tyler started making his rounds, greeting tables, shaking hands, being the charismatic center of attention. He got to our table with Madison on his arm. Everyone having fun? He asked, that big Tyler smile. Everyone assured him it was a perfect wedding. Let me introduce you to my sister, Tyler said, gesturing to me. This is Amber. She works in tech in San Francisco. Software engineer or something. AI research, I corrected quietly. Right. The computer stuff. He laughed. Amber's the smart one. I'm the people person. That's why she codes, and I run a company. Everyone laughed politely. Then Tyler's friend Jake asked, Dude, when's your series be closing? Still on track. Tyler's expression changed. Just for a second. A flash of stress. We're in final negotiations. Should close within 3 months. Biggest round yet. That's awesome, man. And your sister must be proud. You're crushing it. Tyler laughed. But it wasn't his usual laugh. It was sharper. Oh, Amber? She's not involved in the company. She's just focused on her little coding job. Completely separate world. I felt something cold settle in my stomach. Madison jumped in. Tyler built this company from nothing. It's incredible what he's accomplished all on his own. Well, with the investors, Jake said. Right. The investors who believed in the vision. Tyler put his arm around Madison. But family-wise, it's been all me. Amber's always been, well, she's great at her own thing. But she's never really been involved in what I'm building. Different paths, you know? I cut my salmon into smaller and smaller pieces. They moved to the next table. An hour later, the dancing started. I went to the bar, got a drink, and stood at the edge of the dance floor. That's when I heard it. Tyler was at the bar with a group of his groomsmen. They were drunk, loud, celebrating. I was maybe 10 feet away, partially hidden by a column. One of them, I think it was his college roommate Brad, said something about family and support. Tyler laughed. Man, I'm lucky I did this all myself. Some people lean on family money, family connections. I built this company from scratch. What about your parents? Didn't they invest early? 50 grand in the first round. They believed in me, which was great. But the real building, the real growth, that was me and the team. Your sister seems cool. She helped it all. And there it was. Tyler's voice. Amber?
Nah.
She's completely worthless when it comes to business. Always has been. Great at her computer stuff, but contributes nothing to the family or the company. She's just kind of there. You know. They all laughed. She's never offered to help. Brad asked. Not once. Totally focused on her own little world. Which is fine. We all have different strengths. Hers is sitting in front of a computer. Mine is building something real. More laughter. They toasted.
Drank.
I stood there, drink in hand, listening to my brother, whose company I'd funded with $4 million, whose business existed because I'd bailed him out repeatedly for 5 years. Call me worthless. I set down my drink. I walked onto the dance floor. I danced with Madison's cousin. I smiled. I laughed at appropriate moments. And I made a decision. Monday morning, I was back in San Francisco. Back in my office with the view of the bay. Back to my AI models and my team and my actual life that Tyler dismissed as sitting in front of a computer. I opened my email. Subject: Urgent. Investment withdrawal, Anderson Enterprises. Dear partners at Lighthouse Capital Management. Effective immediately, I am requesting full withdrawal of all investments made by Amber Holdings LLC in Anderson Enterprises. This includes all equity positions, 22% ownership. All outstanding convertible notes. All bridge funding agreements. Please initiate buyback negotiations with Anderson Enterprises board immediately, with a 30-day deadline for full liquidity of all positions. If Anderson Enterprises cannot provide liquidity within 30 days, please initiate alternative exit proceedings per the investment agreements. Best regards, Amber Anderson Principal, Amber Holdings LLC. I hit send. Then I made a second call to my lawyer. David, it's Amber Anderson. I need you to review my investment agreements with Anderson Enterprises. Specifically, I need to know my rights around forced buyback and liquidation preferences. David was quiet for a moment. Amber, if you pull out of Anderson Enterprises, especially with your percentage, you could collapse the entire company. I know. Is that what you want? I thought about Tyler's laugh. She's completely worthless. I thought about 5 years of funding his dream while being invisible. Yes, I said. That's exactly what I want. Day 1. My investment firm contacted Anderson Enterprises CFO with the withdrawal request. Formal, professional, immediate. Day 2. Silence. I went to work, led a meeting on our new AI model, got praised for our progress, had lunch with my team. Life continued. Day 2, 4:47 p.m., Tyler called. I didn't answer. Day 2, 4:52 p.m., Tyler called again. I didn't answer. Day 2, 5:03 p.m., Mom called. Amber, Tyler is trying to reach you about something urgent with his company. Please call him back. I didn't call back. Day 2, 7:23 p.m., Tyler texted. Amber, call me.
Now.
This is serious. I turned off my phone. Day 3, 9:15 a.m., my lawyer called. Amber, Anderson Enterprises lawyers just contacted me. They want to negotiate. They're saying a forced buyback would bankrupt the company. What did the investment agreement say about my rights? You have full liquidation preference. Your $4 million investment comes out first, before any other investors, before Tyler's equity. And you have the right to force a buyback within 30 days or initiate dissolution proceedings. So, I can force them to pay me $4 million within 30 days, or I can dissolve a company?
Essentially, yes.
It's unusual for a family investment to have such strong terms, but these are standard institutional investor protections. Tyler's lawyers should have negotiated better terms when you invested. They didn't because Tyler didn't think of me as a real investor. He thought of me as a sister who'd never actually pull the trigger. Well, David said slowly, are you pulling the trigger? Yes. Day 3, 2:34 p.m., Tyler's CFO called my investment firm. The call I heard about later went like this. CFO, we need to understand the withdrawal request. Is Ms. Anderson serious about the 30-day timeline? Lighthouse Capital. Completely serious. She wants full liquidation of her position. CFO, that's $4 million in cash. Plus she has liquidation preference, so that comes out before our Series A investors get anything. If we pay her, we'll have less than $800,000 in operating capital. We'll be insolvent within 60 days. Lighthouse, that's unfortunate, but per the investment agreements. CFO, this will destroy the company. We have 47 employees. We have major clients. We're in Series B negotiations. Please, can we schedule a call with Ms. Anderson to discuss alternatives? Lighthouse, Ms. Anderson's instructions were clear. 30 days. Full liquidation.
No negotiations.
Day 3, 4:47 p.m. Tyler's CFO called Tyler. Sir, we have a major problem. Our primary investor is pulling out. All $4 million. We have 30 days to pay them back or they can force dissolution of the company. Who the hell is the primary investor? According to our cap table, Amber Holdings, LLC. There was a long pause. That's my sister's investment company. Your sister? Amber. My sister Amber. She's our biggest investor? Sir, she owns 22% of the company. She's invested $4 million over 5 years. She has full liquidation preference over all other investors. Another pause. Oh my God. The coding job. She was funding us the whole time. Day 4, Anderson Enterprises held an emergency board meeting. I know what happened because it's on the record. Board minutes are formal documents. My lawyer got them as part of the withdrawal process. The minutes read, Emergency Board Meeting, Anderson Enterprises date, 3 days after wedding, called by CFO at CEO's request attendees, Tyler Anderson, CEO, board members, legal counsel, CFO. Tyler Anderson opened the meeting by explaining that the company's largest investor, Amber Holdings, LLC, 22% equity for $1 million invested, has requested full withdrawal with 30-day liquidation timeline. Tyler Anderson disclosed that Amber Holdings, LLC is controlled by his sister, Amber Anderson. Board expressed shock that CEO had not disclosed family relationship with major investor. Tyler Anderson explained he didn't think it was relevant and didn't realize she'd invested so much. CFO presented financial analysis. Asterisk current cash on hand, $3.2 million. Asterisk required payment to Amber Holdings, for $1 million, liquidation preference. Asterisk shortfall, $800,000. Asterisk options. 1. Emergency fundraising, unlikely in 30 days. 2. Major asset sales, would damage business. 3. Negotiate with Amber Holdings, she's refused. 4. File for bankruptcy protection. Legal counsel advised that bankruptcy would trigger clauses in contracts with major clients, likely causing them to terminate. Board member Sarah Chen asked, why is she pulling out? Tyler Anderson, I don't know. She didn't say anything at my wedding. She seemed fine. Board member James Liu, did something happen at your wedding? Long silence. Tyler Anderson, I may have said some things.
I didn't know she was the investor.
I thought she was just my sister who worked a coding job. Board member Chen, what did you say? Tyler Anderson, I called her worthless. I said she contributes nothing to the family or the company. I didn't know. Board member Lou, you called your largest investor, who has funded this company for 5 years, worthless? At your wedding? In front of people? Tyler Anderson. I didn't know she was the investor. Board member Chin. That's not the point. The point is you said it all. Whether she was an investor or not, she's your sister. And apparently, she's been supporting this company for years while you told people she contributed nothing. Meeting adjourned with no resolution. CFO instructed to continue attempting contact with Amber Holdings, LLC. I read those minutes and felt nothing.
No satisfaction. No anger.
Just a strange, cold clarity. Day 7. Tyler showed up at my office. My assistant called. Ms. Anderson, there's a Tyler Anderson here to see you. He says he's your brother, and it's an emergency. I almost said to send him away, but curiosity won. Send him in. Tyler walked into my office, the office with floor-to-ceiling windows, the view of the Bay Bridge, the modern furniture, the awards on the wall for AI innovations, and stopped. He looked around, really looked, at the evidence of my success, at the life I'd built while being called worthless. This is your office. Yes. You're really senior here.
Principal à y rechercher.
I lead a team of 40 engineers. We build next-generation machine learning systems. He sat down without being invited. He looked terrible.
Gray.
Exhausted. Amber, please. We need to talk about the withdrawal. There's nothing to talk about. The company will collapse. 47 people will lose their jobs. 5 years of work will be gone. Our parents' investment will be worthless. Everything I've built. Everything we've built. I corrected. I built it too, Tyler. With $4 million over 5 years. While you told people I was worthless. I didn't mean. Yes, you did. You've always meant it. I was the bookish little sister who couldn't throw a football or close a business deal, who worked a coding job while you built something real. You said I contribute nothing to the family. You said I never helped. You said this at your wedding, to your groomsmen. While standing in a vineyard I helped pay for, celebrating a life I helped fund. I didn't know you were the investor. That's the problem, Tyler. My voice was sharp, cold. You didn't know because you never asked. Not once in 5 years did you sit down with me and ask, hey, how's work actually going? What do you do? What's your life like? You just assumed I was some coder making decent money. You never looked at the investment documents. You never questioned where Amber Holdings LLC came from. You just took the money and called me worthless.
I'm sorry.
You're sorry you got caught. You're sorry the worthless sister is actually the only reason your company exists. He put his head in his hands. What do you want? Name it. Anything. Board seat? More equity? Public acknowledgement? What? I want you to experience what your company looks like without me propping it up. Amber, please. You have 23 days left. Figure it out. You're the brilliant CEO who built everything from scratch, right? You're the people person. The visionary. So go vision your way out of this. Our parents will lose everything. Our parents lost everything when they invested their retirement in your company. They just didn't know it yet. At least this way they'll learn the truth, that I was the only thing keeping it afloat. I'll tell everyone. I'll tell the whole family what you did. That you funded everything. Please do. I'd love for them to know. I'd love for Mom to know that her little coding job daughter funded 5 years of your success story. I'd love for Dad to know that his Golden Boys company only exists because his worthless daughter kept bailing him out. Tyler stood up. You're really going to destroy everything over something I said when I was drunk? No, I said quietly. I'm going to stop rebuilding something you destroyed every time you dismissed me, ignored me, and took my money while calling me worthless. The difference is this time. I'm not going to be the invisible foundation. I'm going to let you see what your company looks like when I'm not holding it up. He walked to the door.
Paused.
I'm proud of what you've accomplished, he said. This office. Your career. I should have seen it. I should have asked. You should have, I agreed. But you didn't. And now you never will.
He left.
Day 15. Anderson Enterprises held a second emergency board meeting. They voted to attempt emergency fundraising. Day 20, no investors would commit. The company was overleveraged, undercapitalized, and now had an internal crisis with their largest investor withdrawing. Day 23, Tyler called a company all-hands meeting. Announced they were shutting down operations. Everyone was laid off effective immediately, with 2-week severance. Day 25, Anderson Enterprises filed for bankruptcy protection. Day 30, my $4 million came out first, per liquidation preference. The Series A investors got about 40 cents on the dollar. Our parents got nothing. Tyler's equity was worthless. 5 years of work gone in 30 days. It's been 4 months since the bankruptcy. Here's where everyone stands. Tyler is working as a consultant, making about $80,000 a year. He moved into a small apartment, sold his nice car. He's humbled, quieter. Our parents know the truth now. Tyler had to explain why the company collapsed. They know I funded everything. They know he called me worthless. Mom cried for a week. They call me now. Actually call. Ask how I'm doing. Ask about my work. They're trying. It's awkward but honest. Tyler and I don't speak. Maybe we will someday. Maybe we won't. As for me, I got promoted. Executive AI Director. I'm 30 years old, making $920,000 a year, leading critical company initiatives. Last week I got a letter from Tyler. Just 1 page. Amber, you were right. About everything. I built a company on your money, while calling you worthless. I took credit for success that was only possible because of you. I never saw you because I never looked. I don't expect forgiveness. But I want you to know, I see you now. And I'm sorry it took losing everything to finally understand what you'd been giving all along. The bankruptcy was the best thing that ever happened to me. Not because I wanted it, because it forced me to see the truth. That I wasn't a self-made success. I was your charity case who mistook your generosity for my genius.
I hope someday we can talk.
But I understand if we can't. Your worthless brother, Tyler. I put the letter in my desk drawer. I'm not ready to respond. Maybe I will be someday. But for now, I'm content being Amber. Just Amber. The AI researcher who learned that the people who call you worthless are usually the ones standing on your shoulders. And I'm done being anyone's foundation. Here's what I learned. Your worth isn't determined by the people who can't see it. For 5 years, I was called worthless. While funding my brother's dream. While making his success possible. While being invisible. The truth is, I was never worthless. I was just surrounded by someone who needed me to be worthless, so he could feel valuable. My brother called me completely worthless at his wedding, in front of his groomsmen, while celebrating a life built on my $4 million. The irony would be funny if it hadn't cost him everything. But here's what I know now. I didn't destroy his company. I just stopped building it for him. And the moment I stopped, it collapsed. Not because I was destructive, but because I was the only thing holding it up. I don't know if Tyler and I will ever be close again. I don't know if he'll truly understand what he did. I don't know if my family will ever really see me the way they saw him. But I know this. I'm not worthless. I never was. And I'm finally free.